Yo, what's up guys? Back with another video. Finally, I haven't posted in like 3 weeks, I think. There just hasn't been much to talk about, but today I'm going to be telling you about my inventory and giving you an update on my jailbreak career, per se. Alright, so the first vehicle is going to be the Shell Classic. This is a safe reward for the $100,000 safe. Very expensive safe, and I got this vehicle on my third try, so I was extremely lucky with this vehicle. But it is a very nice classic. It has a real nice interior, looks pretty realistic, has a nice little mirror, rear view mirror in the middle, nice gauges and switches and whatnot, has a little bit of a roll cage in the back here. Overall, it's a very nice vehicle. Here's a closer look at the interior. But yeah, so moving on to our second vehicle. Alright guys, so our next vehicle is going to be the Snake. It's a very nice vehicle. It costs around $600,000 and it came in the update just after the trading update. So it's a pretty new vehicle, it has a nice interior. Asimo has actually bumped the value of this vehicle closer to M12 value. It's actually getting higher value, so I'm actually excited about that. But here's a closer look at the interior. Has a pretty well detailed interior. I'll give you another look here. As you can see, the seats have nice color to them. They have a little bit of controls on the roof there, but overall it's a very nice vehicle. But anyways, moving on to our next vehicle. Next up is going to be the Macaron. Keep in mind these vehicles are in no particular order, they are completely random. But this vehicle came out in Season 10. Unfortunately, the value is just not there because everybody grinded Season 10 because Season 10 came out with a trading update. But the interior is very nice, it looks just like a real Bugatti. It's a very nice car in general, very speedy, about like the Bandit. But anyways, that's it for this vehicle. Next vehicle is going to be the MCL36. This vehicle cost $200,000 and it came out with the McLaren Track update. It's a very nice vehicle, has a nice interior. It's one of the best sounding vehicles in the entire game, with the best, most realistic engine sound in the entire game. But let's move on to our next vehicle. Alright, so our next vehicle is going to be the Icebreaker. The Icebreaker was a Season 8 vehicle, I believe. Very nice car. It's actually an electric Porsche, so there are 3 Porsches in the game. This Icebreaker, the Posh, and the Boxer are the 3 Porsches. Our next vehicle is going to be the NASCAR. The NASCAR came out with the NASCAR Track update a long time ago. It's a very nice vehicle. It comes free to every jailbreak player. This is the interior, so pretty basic, but yet it looks pretty great. But that's all for this vehicle. Alright, moving on to our next vehicle, the Bandit. The Bandit was a seasonal reward. It's a very nice looking vehicle. It tops out at about 250 miles per hour, which is actually quite fast. Here's a quick look at the interior. Not much to say here, but the outside of the vehicle makes up for that. Moving on to our next vehicle, the Rattler. The Rattler was also a seasonal reward, and it came out with the Tomb update. The Rattler is a cool vehicle because it shoots flames out the engine. The interior is pretty basic, but it does have a skull on the shifter, so that's pretty cool. But anyways guys, moving on to our next vehicle, the Agent. The Agent is a lot like the Shell Classic, only it has a roof. It also shoots missiles too, so that's pretty cool. Overall, it's a nice vehicle. The missiles are pretty hard to use because you can't really aim them. Your vehicle has to be pointed perfectly to actually hit anything, but still, they're cool just to have. Moving on to our next vehicle, the Volt 4x4. The Volt 4x4 was also a seasonal reward. A lot of people expected it to be better than it was. A lot of people wanted it to be like what the Trailblazer is. Unfortunately, it is not that great of an off-roader, but yet it is a cool vehicle just to have. Moving on to our next vehicle, the Airtail. The Airtail cost $600,000 and it was in-game for about 2 years. This vehicle, however, is extremely fast, going about 250 miles per hour. The interior of this vehicle is pretty futuristic actually. It has a lot of monitors and whatnot. Nice white interior. It's very futuristic looking. Moving on to our next vehicle, the M12 Molten. The M12 Molten costs like $590,000. I think. I didn't play during that update, so I'm not for sure, but I have it now, so it's a very nice vehicle. Unfortunately, there is no interior, so I can't really show you that very well, but I can kind of like zoom in a little bit, I guess, and show you like the seat, I guess. The seats have a little bit of detail, but not much that you can actually see. The vehicle is an older vehicle, but yet it looks real nice. The reason that it doesn't have an interior is because it's an older vehicle. But moving on to our next vehicle, the JB8. The JB8 was an old seasonal reward, so as it is an old car, it does not have an interior, so I can't show you an interior, but all I can do is show you the outside. The outside looks real nice, however. What it's lacking in interior, it definitely makes up for on the outside. As you can see, it has side scoops, so those are pretty cool. Moving on to my favorite vehicle in my entire inventory. It's just so great, it's super fast, the Classic. The Classic spawned right next to the museum and cost $50,000. Totally worth it. It's super amazing. I love it so much. Next up, we have the Bruley. The Bruley was in-game for roughly 3 years, I believe. It cost the same as the Chiron in the game. Now, the Chiron was supposed to replace the Bruley, but nothing can really replace the Bruley. The Bruley is the fastest vehicle in the game after all, so if they were actually going to replace it with a substantial thing, the Chiron would need to go 400 miles per hour. Unfortunately, it does not, so it does not match up to the Bruley. Moving on to the next vehicle, the Mighty. The Mighty is actually a quite fun vehicle to drive. It's a nice prankster vehicle, fun to just ride around with a bunch of friends and just spam on cops. It's a really fun car to drive. Unfortunately, it has no interior. Moving on to the next vehicle is the Porsche thing. It's actually a pretty cool vehicle. I really like to just mess around with it. Unfortunately, the proportions are kind of off, so my character is kind of sticking out the top of it. But yeah, it is a pretty cool vehicle. It's fun to just zip around in. Next up, we have the Torero. The Torero came out in the 5 vehicles in 5 days update. I really hope they do that again because it's a really cool update, and I'd like to stock up on some nice limited cars in the future. But this is a Lamborghini Countach. The Lamborghini Countach is a classic Lamborghini. It's really cool if you've ever seen one in real life. As in real life, I mean like a picture or an image. Once again, that's Lamborghini Countach. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed already, I ask that you do so because it would really help me out a lot. Of course, I'm not telling you to subscribe. It's your own choice. But keep in mind, it's completely free and it helps me out a lot.